So we will talk about the binary search trees. And the idea would be we put some more restriction over the binary tree, okay, and that will help us in certain operations. So I can actually define binary search tree in terms of a binary tree, okay. So a binary search tree is a binary tree such that, okay, so you put something more. So you see that means the same things apply. You can break into a root element left and right, that is also a binary tree, but such that for any node, and let's say that node is the root, I mean any node can be the root of the subtree from there. Any node, the values in its left subtree are smaller than the value of the node okay. So you see a restriction. So all the values in the left subtree are smaller than the value of the node, and similarly you define for the right subtree, and the values in the right subtree are greater than the value of the node. Okay, so now we're talking about, let's say, integers. So let's just draw a binary search tree. So I have a root. Now all the elements in the left subtree will be smaller than 30. Okay, and they will be binary search tree themselves. So 3, 1, 2, 5, 21, 89, 59, 5. So now can you convince yourself this is a binary search tree? Yes, a binary tree. It's a binary tree, root, left and right. Yes, and all the values in the left subtree are smaller than this. 3, 5, 1, 2 are smaller than 13. On the right are larger than 13, and that is true for every node. Very important. It's not that it has to be true only for 13. So it has to be true for every node. So if I go here, say for 3, the value to the right is larger than 3. All the values in the left subtree are smaller than 3. 89, values in the left is smaller than 89. Right, there is no value. 21, left no value, right value. There are two values, 89 and 55. They are larger than 21. So that means for any node, very important, for any node, the value in the, so from that node you can always define the left and right subtree. The value in the left subtree are smaller than that, the value in the right subtree are larger than that. So this definition is very, very crucial. Many times people make a mistake. They say, okay, it's true only for the root node. No. And many times they just call value, the left child is less than root, right is larger than root. That is not correct. That is not sufficient. Okay. So actually you can think of a counter example. If I give a different definition, that instead of subtree I put a node. So can you come up with a structure this is not a BST? Okay. So you can find a counter example. That is not a correct definition. So this is a binary search tree, and each of the subtree, like this is also a binary search tree, and this is also a binary search tree. Interesting. Now with the integers, now can you think of doing certain operations? Can you think of doing certain operations? So the main operations that you do in binary search, let me define the operations. So the main operations are, so you can search for a key, you can insert a key, and you can delete a key. These three are the most crucial operations for any data structure. You should be able to search an element, insert an element, and delete an element. Okay. So think about arrays and linked list. You can do that. These are the operations mainly we talked about. Yes, there are other things, but these are main. But then there are other like secondary operations. So there are other operations. For example, you can find the minimum of the elements because it's a set of elements. Find max. And you can even find successor. So what is the successor of an element? Okay, and find similarly predecessor. So we'll talk about these operations: search, insert, delete, find min, find max. Okay, and actually when we will start talking about search, you will see why this looks like a binary search. Okay, so let's talk about the search operation. So suppose I have to define the search operation. Let me write a pseudocode. So I have to define a search operation. Now what are the input? So I always need the input, the pointer to the root. Okay, just like in the binary tree. So I need x, yes, and the same structure, same representation holds that we did for binary tree. So I'm representing a node by its value, left, right, and parent. What else do I need? If I'm searching, I need the key that I'm searching. Yes, so let's say I'm searching for k. Okay, I'm searching for k. Now how will the search operate? So let me go back to the tree and let's try one search. So suppose you're searching for say 89. You're searching for 89. So you search 89. Okay. So how should you proceed if you want to search something? So you see, you have to use the property of this binary search tree. And what is the property? From the root, all values are here to the left in the left subtree are smaller than that. All values are larger than that. Now, does that property remind you of binary search? What used to happen in binary search? In binary search, I used to have an array that is sorted. So if I go to the middle element, I know these, if middle value, these are smaller than. So this is k. So these are smaller than k, and these are larger than k. Yes. Now you see something similar is happening. So you have this k13, and all values here are smaller than this. All values here are larger than this. So how should I do the search? Okay, I have the pointer to the root. See if it is equal to the key I am searching for. If it is so, I return that. Otherwise, if it is larger than the key, then the key would be, if it is that, would be in the left subtree. So suppose, you are searching 89 in this case anyway. So if it is smaller than the key, that means the key has to be in the right subtree. Yes. So I have to now search in the right subtree. I don't need to go to the left subtree. And similarly, left subtree I do recursively. I check with this. If this is the key that I am searching for, 89, I return. Otherwise, if it is smaller than that, smaller than the key, I go to the right subtree, and so on. Okay, so you may either find the element, or the element may not be there in the binary search tree. In that case, you will reach some nil node, and you will say, okay, it is no more there, not in this binary search tree. So how do I write the pseudocode for search? So I will say, if x is equal to nil, so we are writing a recursive code, so let's do the base case. If x is equal to nil, that means I have reached a nil node, I could not find the key. So you return not found. Okay, so depending on your convention, you can return found or not found also. So other than that, otherwise x is not there. So then the first thing you will check if key of x is same as key. So if key of x is equal to k, you found, so you say return, let's say found. Okay. Now otherwise key of x is not equal to k, it will be either larger or smaller. So then you make the case if key of x is larger than k. So the root node it's larger than the key that you're searching for. That means key has to be in the left subtree. Now how would you do that? You will recursively call search. So you will return search with left of x and k. Okay. And similarly you will write if key of x is smaller than k, you return search right of x with k. And that is all. And that is all you have to do in search operation. This is recursive code. It will take care. You will keep on searching, and either you get a base case, so you either find a nil or you find the key, and that should be the output. So now you can see that searching in binary search tree resembles binary search on sorted arrays. Okay, so that was the search operation for it. Now let's also talk about the complexity of search. So what is the complexity? So what is the complexity? So it's very easy. You see, you are searching for the element, either you're finding or you're going to the left or right. Yes. So what is the maximum number of times you will run this loop? It will be what you will run this loop. It will be maximum number of times you will run is the height of the tree. So you can see the complexity. The running time is order height of the tree. Now what is the height in terms of number of nodes? Now that's where the problem comes. So that is order of n. So you see, in general binary search tree, the search complexity is order n, because you have to take care of the fact that the height can be n minus 1. Yes, sure. Yeah, this is a pain point. And we will have to come back to this, because you will start saying, okay, if I have to do order n, why do you use this complicated structure? I can simply use a simple array without even sorting, and I run a search, linear search. Yes. So yeah, we will see why binary search tree are important. Okay. So right now you bear with this. Yes, in this case, worst case is order n, but you see the height in the best case can be order omega log n. We don't worry too much about best case, but there is some way you can make this to log n. Okay. Sure. Now so we did this search operation. Now let's go to insert operation. So how will the insert operation work in BST? So what is insert operation? You will give a value. So you want to insert a value. Okay. So like I go back to this tree. So suppose I want to insert, say, 23. So I'm inserting a value. So there is one crucial thing about insert. So suppose you do not allow the same value to be inserted multiple times. So let's say we can say if the value is already present, in the binary search tree, we just return the same tree. Okay. Otherwise, we insert the new value as a leaf node in an appropriate position. That's what we will see. Like, where exactly do you want to insert it? Suppose I am inserting 23. Okay. So how will that work? So you have to again think like searching. You have to again like you are searching 23. So you start searching 23. 13, 23 is larger than 13, I have to go to the right subtree. Okay. 21. 21 is smaller than 23, I have to go to the right subtree. 89. 89 is larger than 23, I have to go to the left subtree. 55 is larger than 23, I have to go to the left subtree, but I encounter a null. Okay. Now that's where I have to now say, okay, so if 23 was there, it would have been in this subtree. So because this subtree is empty, I have to actually insert 23 here. So I have to actually insert 23 at this location. Okay. So this is all you have to do. You have to find out what is the appropriate location for the key that you're searching, that you want to insert, and actually insert that as a leaf node. So you actually put it as a leaf node here. 23. Okay, this is that. So, well, that looks quite easy. You can actually use the same code that you were doing for search within modification. So, insert, I get the pointer to the root and the element that I have to insert. Okay. The value that I have to insert. Okay. Now, what is the base case here? So base case would be that if you find this, right, you just return. So if k is equal to keys of x, you return the same true. Okay, fine. Otherwise, so k will be either smaller than keys of x or larger than keys of x. So if k is smaller than keys of x, what will you do? K is smaller than the keys of x, that means you have to now go in the, so it's smaller than the root, you have to go in the left subtree. So you have to go to the left subtree. So now what is the base case? So in the left subtree, if left of x, so if left of x is nil, see if it is nil, no point of going there. If it is nil, you have to add k as the left child of x. Yes, k is less than keys of x, so you had to go in the left subtree. If it is nil, you have to add k as the left child of x. Else it is not nil, so you have to now call insert over the left subtree of x. Else you do insert over left of x with key. Okay, so for example, you were here, suppose you were here and you were at 55 and k is less than keys of x. So what you did, you checked if left x is null. If left x is null, you have to add k as a new child here. Okay, else, like you were doing here, this is less than that. If this is not null, else you will call insert over the left. Okay, so you left is either null, you add k as the left child, or call insert over the left. That's what you do. Now, and then there will be other thing like else. Else k is larger than keys of x, and you will have to repeat the same thing. You have to repeat the same sort of thing, just change left with right, and that should work. Okay, so this is your insert function. Now you may have a question like, what is this add k as a left child of? So what do I do here? Now this is where you have to be very, very careful. When you're adding a node as left child of x, what are the things you have to do? You have to define a new node. Like in the linked list, you do define a new node, put k as the key of that node, yes. Then what about the left and right pointer? They will be both null. So its left and right are null. And what about the parent pointer? The parent pointer would go back to x. Okay, and you have to also do something. So you have to also do some change with x. So for the new node you have to do all this, and for x you have to change its left pointer. So left, oh I'm sorry, left of x. So you have to say left of x now will be a pointer to the new node. This will be the new node. So when I am saying add k as the left child of x, you have to do all these operations. Okay, but yeah, these are like very similar to how you do in the linked list. So what I will suggest, you yourself try. So I think as a simple exercise, you try create a binary search tree. Okay, you create a binary search tree and print elements in some traversal order. Okay, and now you try to see how do I search there. Try to search. Write some functions in C for search. Write a function for insert. I want to insert an element there. And again you print after inserting, and you see whether you are getting that order correctly. The order that you are seeing on copy and the order that you are seeing on the in the C program. So you must practice that. Okay. So I have given you some pseudocodes, but now you have to write in C programming and try. Okay, how do I do search? How do I insert? And whether I am getting it correct. Don't wait for the lab for doing this. Yeah, do that before. Now, sure. So now we talked about two operations for binary search tree. So we have talked about search. We have talked about insert. And complexity for insert is same as search, right? It's same as search. Order h. That is order n. Like in search, if order h, that was order n. Same for insert. Now, okay. So before I talk about some other operation, you see, suppose you have a set of elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see, if you put them in a sorted array, yeah, I have given this set is sorted already, but if you put in a sorted array, there is only one order. So you put it like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if you want to put them in binary search tree, is there a unique order? Is there a unique order in which I can put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Just try, and you will see this is not a unique order. You can actually, yeah, find out how many, but I give you an example. So you can always say, okay, I put 1 as the first element, then I put 2 as right, 3 as right of 2, 4 as right of 3, and 5 as right of 4. I keep on doing that. Or I can say, okay, 3, I can put 1, I can put 2, yes, 1 and 2 are less than 3, and here I put 4, I can put 5. I could have put 5 first and then 4 as the left check. So you see there are many ways you can define. So each of these are separate BSTs. Okay, but given a BST, can you print all the values in a sorted array? Can you print all the values in a sorted order? Can you do that? So I can be given any binary search tree, let's say this one, and I have to print values in the sorted order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How would you do that? Think about it. So what is about 1? You see, can I use some of the traversal? So the hint is, okay, can I use one of the traversals? So now, which traversal? So I have to print 1 at the beginning, yes, and 5 at the end. Now I cannot print the root first. Okay, so pre-order will not work. What about in order? So I'm printing left first. So okay, in this subtree I go to left, root, Right. Yes, 1, 2, then 3. And looks fine, right? In order looks good because this comes before, the left comes before the root, and right comes after the root. So yeah, that makes sense. So in pre-order we'll do 1, 2, 4, 5 and 3. Does not make sense. So that means which traversal I will have to do? I'll have to do in order traversal. Okay. So if I do an in order traversal, I'll be able to print them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So very interesting. You are given a binary search tree. You want to print all the values in a sorted order. Just do in order traversal over that. Now, sure. Let's talk about some other operations. For example, how do I? So yeah, I want to talk about delete, but before that, let's talk about some simpler operations that are like other operations, like find minimum. How do I find a minimum of a binary search tree? Okay, let's look at a search tree. Binary search tree. Yes. How do I find the minimum of that? What is the minimum of this? So minimum is 1. And what do you see? Where does the minimum lie? So if you start from the root, so minimum is smaller than the root. I mean, if you think in terms of search, this has to be smaller than that, smaller than that, smaller than that. So you keep on following left pointers until you reach a point where you don't have a left pointer at all. So starting from the root, keep on following the left pointers until at a point you don't have a left pointer anymore. Very good. This looks good. Similarly, can you think of finding max? Yes. Analogously, you start from root, keep following the right pointers until you find a point where there is no right pointer. So the 89 is the maximum and 1 is the minimum. So I can write a simple pseudocode. Find min x. So I can write a recursive code. So while left of x is not equal to nil, you say x is left of x. Okay, so you keep on doing that. At some point it will be nil, so you return x. Similarly, I can write find max. So while right of x is not equal to nil, x is right of x, some point is nil, so you return x. So that's how you find the min and max. Very, very easy. Now, what about finding successor? Find successor of a node. What is successor? Successor is the immediately next value in the sorted order. Okay, by the way, once I say that, you will say, okay, that is easy. I will simply do an in order traversal. I'll get the sorted order and I find a successor for this element. You see, that is fine. You can do that in order and time. Okay, naive way. But you want to find a better way of doing it. Similar. See, what is the complexity of min and max? See, what is the complexity of min and max? This is order h, right? You have to do this while loop for at most the height of the tree. So they are order h. So order h. And order n is traversal. So you can always find any sorted order and the sorted order in order n type. And you are doing some operations order h. Now, while order h is also order n right now, please don't convert order h to order n. Okay, so keep them as distinct. Order h is different than order n, because later on in the same week we will see how you can take it close to order log n. Okay, and that way, that when you can do that, then all order s things will start becoming order log n, and that's what very interesting. Okay, so right now all order s things are still order n, but just keep faith. Yes, at some point we will see, okay, h can be bounded by log n, and then all order s things are order log n, and they will be better than, asymptotically better than order n things. Okay. So find successor, you can use simple traversal in order n time, but can we do it in order h time? Okay, order h is better than order n. Okay, yes. So find successor, immediately next value in the sorted order. Okay, can I get some sense of, okay, how do I go about finding the next value? Let's go back to our tree. Okay, let's go back to this tree and say I want to find successor of 55. Yes, so you want to find successor of 55, and what is the output here? The answer should be 89. Okay, so similarly, what is the successor of what is the successor of 3? This is 1. Oh, sorry, 3 successor is 5. 3 predecessor is 2. Oh, okay. So let's say what is the successor of 2? Successor of 2 is 3. Okay. And what is the successor of 21? Successor of 21 is 55. So let's see, how do you get the successor of 21? Can you think of an algorithm to get successor of 21? What will you do? Now think about it. Successor is what? Successor is just the next value in the sorted order. So successor is just the next value in the sorted order. So where will that lie? Suppose you are searching, where will that lie? So you are at a binary search tree at some node. It has a left subtree, it has a right subtree. So where will the next value lie in the sorted order? Well, I know all the values that are in the right subtree are larger than that. So the next value will lie in the right subtree. Okay, so it will lie in the right subtree. Yes, that's where I go when I'm searching. Now, where in the right subtree? So all these are larger than k. If this k, they are all larger than k. This is all smaller than k. Now where will this successor lie in the right subtree? So I'll find the immediately next value. So you see, all these values are larger than k. All these are larger than k. Now what should be the property of the successor? Now successor should be the minimum of all values larger than k. Wow. So minimum of all values larger than k. Where will that be? So it will be in the right subtree. And if I can find the minimum of right subtree, so if I can find the minimum of right subtree, I get the successor. And I know how to find the minimum. I have a function. So I have to just do the find min of the right of x, right of k. So find the minimum of right subtree, and that will be the successor. So is that always true? Find min of the right subtree. Go back here. So so this was true for 21. You have a right subtree, find the minimum 55, that is your answer. But what about 55? How will you find successor of 55? 55 does not have a right subtree. So if there is no right subtree, you cannot find the minimum of right subtree. So where will the successor of 55 lie? It is actually 89. Now how would I get it? So now think of the logic again. So if there is a right subtree, you find the minimum of right subtree. But if no right subtree is there, where will that lie? Okay? Sure. So In other words, I have a situation, I have an element k, it has a left subtree, like may or may not have, but let's say it has a left subtree, but this is right subtree empty. So where will the successor lie? Okay, so suppose, let's say y is the successor, let y be the successor. So what can you say? What can you say about the connection between k and y? So can you say that k will be the predecessor of y? Predecessor, like successor, is the previous element in this ordered order. Okay, so k will be the predecessor of y. So, and where will k lie? K is smaller than y, so k will lie in the left subtree of y, and it will be the minimum element. So what can you say? So now what have we got? If there is no right subtree, the successor of k is an element y such that k lies in the left subtree and k is the minimum. So k is the minimum element of the left subtree of y. So y has a left subtree. Oh, I am sorry, it will not be the minimum element. Yes, what will be that? It will be the maximum element. It's a predecessor. So y has a left subtree, so all the values are smaller than y. In the right subtree, all values are greater than y. In this value, the maximum value will be the predecessor of y. So k will be the max of this. So this will lie in the, so keep on following the right pointers. Okay, so it will be the max element here. So you see what is happening now. So somewhere y has a left subtree and k is the in that subtree and is the minimum, and that is true because you see k is the maximum. K is the maximum of that subtree, and you see k does not have a right subtree. That's why we have gone here. So k is the maximum here. So that is how you will find a y. So y is an element such that has a left subtree where k is the maximum element. So how would you go to y? You follow the parent pointers from k. Yes, keep on following the parent pointers. And what you should ensure? So k is the right child. So go to the parent and make sure that k is the right child. Again, keep on going to the parent and make sure that is the right child. So you go from here to here, this is the right child, until you find a point where it is the left child. So this point is the left child. So the first place where you find that this node is the left child of its parent, the parent is that. Wow, very interesting. So let me write in a clean manner. So you have to find a node such that x is the largest element, k here, k is the largest element in its left subtree. Okay, and how will you get such an element? So suppose, so you keep following the parent pointers until you find a node that is left child of its parent. Okay, so return the parent. Fine. So let's try this. So for 55 is actually easy. So you keep, I want a successor for 55, so I keep following the parent pointer until I find a node that is left child. Actually 55 itself is a left child, so 89 is the answer. Say for 2, keep following the parent pointer until you find a left child. So it's a right child, no. When you go from here to here, it's a left child. So then 3 is the answer. So good. So now can I write the pseudocode for this? So suppose I have the parent pointer. So suppose we have the parent pointer. So I also have the point to the node for which I am finding a successor. Otherwise you have to use a search and get there. So BST successor, say X. So suppose I have the pointer to the node for which I have to find a successor. If you are only given the value, then you have to go to use a search procedure and find the pointer, and then you start from there. So what is the first criteria? If it has a right subtree. If right of X is not null, it's a very easy case. You return the min, find min, find min of right of X, and that is your answer. If there is a right subtree, find the minimum of right subtree. Otherwise, you keep on going to the parent pointer, y is x dot p, and while y is not null and x is y's right child. Okay, so so this is same as parent of x, this is same as right of y. Okay, so if while y is not null and x is y's right child, then you keep on making x as y. So x as y and y is y dot p. Okay, so you keep on going up, x is y and y is y dot p. So at some point you will either find y is null, so that way you can just return a null, the successor is null, or you will find a place where x is y is left, so then you return y. So in either case, either you find a null or you find x is y is left, you return y. So you return y, and that's all. And that's all is your code for finding success. Okay, convince yourself and try to write a similar code for BST predecessor for X. Okay, and then also try to write a C code for this. Sure. So okay, so this covers all the operations roughly except the delete. So now this is the one we will talk about. So how do you do delete in binary search tree? So as it turns out, delete among all will be the most complicated operation, and let us try to understand why. And let me try to actually build a new tree before we start talking about delete. So okay, this is my binary search tree. So yeah, and now suppose I want to see how do I delete certain node, and let's try deleting certain nodes. So let's say I try say delete 150. So how easy or difficult it is to delete 150? So what will I have to do? So I have to first search for 150 starting from here, go right, then go left, you get 150, and to delete it. Now if you have to delete 150, what you have to do? You can remove it, yes, and removing it means for 200 the pointer to the left child, the left pointer should be null, and that should suffice. If 200's left pointer is null, there is no way to access 150 from the tree. So that's how you can delete. So similarly, any leaf node, if you see any leaf node like 10, 90, 250, etc., 340, it's very easy to delete. You just change the corresponding pointer of their parent. 340 is the right child, so change the right pointer of 335 to null. Sure. So fine, looks easy. Now let's try some other node. Let's try deleting say 325. So if I try deleting 325, so I cannot use the same thing as I did last time. So suppose I say okay, I will put the left pointer of 335 to null. Will that be sufficient? Now you see what will happen if I do that. There will be no way to access this subtree. This subtree will not be able, we will not be able to access the subtree, and so that is fine because I have to delete 325, but I will also in this process I'll be also deleting 330 because there is no way to even access 330. I don't want that. So if I have to delete 325, I have to also think about there can be a whole subtree below that. So I have to think about this. So one possibility in this case I can put 330 in place of 325, and that should still work. Why? Because all these nodes are smaller than 335. So if you remove 325 and put 330 here, that should not be a problem. Yes, and in general, if there is a whole subtree here, I can put the whole subtree at this point. Sure. And that simply means I change this pointer and put it to this node. And similarly, I can do for in this case, actually, I can do it for 325 only here. There is no other node with a single child. This is the node with a single child. Everyone else has either 0 or 2 children. Okay, sure. Now, fine. Now, what is the more complicated case? So, more complicated case, as you can see, so 150 was a leaf node, 325 was a node that had only one child. So now the more complicated case will be when you have to delete a node that has 2 children. Okay, so let's say I want to delete 300. Now what would happen in that case? So you have to delete 300. Now, oh, it's dangling, I cannot delete it, there are 2 subtrees below that. So what should I do? So so that is interesting. So what should I do in this case? So we will see in the generic case what I should do, but idea would be something like I do a minimal change to the tree structure so that I preserve the BST property. Okay, so what is the minimum change? So so if you want to think, so for example, what is happening? So you're having a key k, okay, coming from somewhere, and below that there are 2 subtrees, both the subtrees are there, and you want to delete it. So what should you do so that there is a minimum change to this? So what you can see, so these values are less than k and these values are greater than k. So what value you should put here from the subtrees below, so that you may have to make minimum changes. Okay, so think over it. And now we are going to just write these three cases formally. So you have to delete a node from BST, and suppose the node is X. Now, and also let's say we are given the pointer to that node that I have to delete. So now what are the cases? So simplest case is if X has no children. Okay, so if X has no children, what you can do? We saw that in the case of 150, you remove it by modifying the parent to replace X with nil as the corresponding child. So that is, you find out whether X is a left child or right child of its parent, because X has no children. So you see whether X is left or right child of P, and once you have found, you replace corresponding pointer, you replace by null. So then replace corresponding pointer by null. That's all. Okay, so that's all will be in case 1. Now next would be case of deleting 325. So case 2, if X has just one child, and when I say X has one child, that means it in general can be only one subtree. So if X has only one child, like in the case of 325, what I will do, I will take the corresponding child and put it in the place of X. So we elevate the child to take X's position in the tree. And how would you do that? Like you did last time. So you have to again find out, so what is the parent of 325? So in this case 335. So you will see 325 is the right child of left child of 335. Now you will make 330 as the left child of 335. So you see there is quite a lot of steps involved. So first you have to delete a node, you have to find out if it has only one child, and you see what is you get the pointer of that child, whether left or right. Now you don't need the distinction further, so you just need that pointer. Now go to its parent and see whether this is the left child or right child of the parent. And this is left child, so just change the left child pointer of the parent to this node. That's all. Okay, so that is your case 2. And now your case 3. So case 3 is if X has 2 children. So if X has 2 children, so that means in general it can have both the subtrees. So what would happen in that case? So let me just go to that picture. So you want to delete this X, it has both the subtrees. Now this is the left subtree and this is the right subtree. Now what you should do, so that you have to make minimal changes to the structure, you don't have to move around things a lot. So you see, we can use the idea that suppose this value is k, so all these values are here are less than k, all these are greater than k. Now suppose I suppose some of you are getting this. So suppose I find the successor of k. So because in this case both the subtrees are there, So successor will lie in the right subtree, the minimum value of the right subtree. Okay, so suppose I find the successor of this and put the successor in this place. Okay, I am done, and that is the idea. So I have to find the successor of k and put it in the position of k, and I don't do any other change. Okay, interesting. So in this case, for example, I have to delete 300. So what I will do, find the successor of 300. That is, how do I find successor? Go to the right subtree, find the minimum. So keep on going left. So 325 is the successor. Now 325 is the successor. So what you will have to do, you will have to put 325 in place of 300. Okay, sure, that is fine. You change the key of 300 to include 325. But is that all? Is that all? What is remaining? You have to actually also delete 325. And deleting 325 means you have to retain 330. 330 you should not do a change. You should simply delete 325. Now the question is, how will you delete 325? And the answer is yes, you will go back to your case 2. X is only one child. Okay, and that's all. Now some of you might have a question, but in general case, can't this run infinitely, that I have to delete a node like k? I have to find a successor. I have to delete that node. Can't it also have 2 children? And then I'm back to the same problem. So what do you think? Yes. So you see, this will never happen. Why? Because you are finding the successor in the right subtree. That means you have to go till there is no further left child. So that means the node you stop at will only have a right subtree at most. It can never have a left subtree. So that means you will never go back to case 2. You will go back to either case. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have said you will never go back to case 3. You will either go back to case 2 or you will go back to case 1. Okay, in both the cases, you don't have to recursively call a delete function. You can simply do the changes. So that means even if you are in case 3, you have to do at most one more delete. Okay, you have to do one more delete at most, not further. Okay, so now we can say, so what I should do. So if x has 2 children, so suppose x is here and there are 2 subtrees. So what I will do, so take the minimum value from the right subtree of x, and suppose this is y. So now what I will do, so you change key x as key y. So replace the value. So instead of x, you put y. Okay, that is first step. And second one, you have to delete the node y. So delete the node y. And this is important, this will be using the other case. It can never be the same case. Using either case 1 or 2. Why? Because y can't have a left child. Because this is the successor. And that is coming in the right subtree. And this is very interesting. So that means, yes, I can use now the knowledge that I gained from getting successor in this delete. So then this way it was better that we covered delete after understanding the predecessor and successor. Okay, so yeah, now some of you might say, so actually I can do it in another way also. So alternate way would be, yes, what is the alternate way? I find the predecessor. Of x, so that will be in the left subtree, and that means you can repeat the same steps, just change the left with right, I guess. Repeats similar steps. Okay, and that is your delete. So again, Bayesian delete is a bit more complicated, has 3 cases, but yeah, finally it works. So at most twice you will have to do the delete. Now, okay, so now what do we see? So now what is the takeaway from whatever we have covered till now? So we see that each of the operations, main operations, search, insert and delete in BSTT, each of these operations, they take how much time? Order H. And yes, all of these are order H operations, search, insert, delete. Now the problem here is, in the worst case, this is order. Now why is height order n? So remember we talked about this, because what does the height depend on? So the height of a BST depends on the sequence in which the values are inserted. So for example, we were talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now I can put that in this order: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or I can do 3, 2, 1, 5, 4. I can put in multiple orders. So let's see what happens if I put in this order: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get a node 1. Then I insert. Where will 2 be inserted? To the right. Yes, of 1. Now 3, I'll search for 3. I'll get to the right of 2. Similarly for 4 and 5. Yes, but what will happen in this case? Let's try. So I'll first put 3. Then I will have to find 2. 2 will be to the left. So I'll insert 2 here. 1, I'll go to the left of 3. Then to the left of 2. So I'll put 1 here. 5, I start from 3, go to the right and put 5 here. 4, go to the right. Now I have to go to left. So I'll put 4 here. So you see, just because the order, the sequence of values were different, my tree had different heights. So in this case, what was the height? 4. In this case, what was the height? 2. So the sequence is very important. So yeah. So by the way, I have a question here. So the maximum height that you can get for a tree, that is n minus 1. So when will that happen? Is it bound to happen only when the sequence is sorted, like in sorted in increasing or decreasing order, or can it also happen some other time? So yeah, think about it. You can either want to prove it or disprove it, that the maximum height of a binary search tree is achieved only when, so let me write a statement. So the maximum height of a binary search tree is achieved only when the values are in sorted order. That is either increasing or decreasing. And you have to prove or disprove it. So prove or disprove. So to prove, yeah, you see if you can prove it. And to disprove, you have to give a counterexample. Okay, so try that. And also you should try practicing the delete operation. Try practicing the delete operation in C program. So now the question comes. Okay, so all these operations are order H, and order H is becoming order N. Now, can we somehow ensure the height of a binary search tree to be order log n? So can I do that? Now you see what is happening. When I'm inserting the values, I'm just finding the appropriate place. See, for 3 appropriate places here, I just insert it. 4 appropriate places here, I insert it, and so on. Now, and same thing happens for delete also. You see, when you are deleting it, It may happen initially it was fine. For example, in this case, this looks like a good height, but then you start deleting it. Suppose you delete 4 and 5, then this tree will have a worst case height 2 for 3 elements. So that means both in insert and delete, the way you do the operations, the sequence in which you do the operations will determine what will be the height. Okay. So now what should be the idea if I want to ensure the height to be order log n? So idea would be, if I can modify, so the basic idea would be modify both the insert and delete functions in such a way that, so you see you are doing insertion deletion, so at any point of time you make some check, okay, my height should not deviate too much from the best possible height, and if it is deviating you do some local operations immediately. So in a way that the height of the tree at any time does not grow too much, and so at any point in time does not grow too much and stays not far away from the best possible height. Best possible height, and what is the best possible height? So we saw the omega bound, so this is the logarithm in the size of the tree. So this is the basic idea. So if I can ensure that while I am doing delete and insert, at any time it does not, the height does not grow too much. If I can ensure at every point of time, that means yes, my height will be bounded. So, and what is important, so when I am making such adjustments, they should not be costly. So what is more important? So if such adjustments can be made efficiently. Then we can keep the height bounded by order log n. Okay, and if I can do that, if I can do this efficiently, if I can keep the height to order log n, that means what would happen? All major operations becomes order log n. Okay, and that will be like something interesting. Then I have some specific efficient use of binary search trees. So overall, and so this property, that is keeping the height of a tree with n nodes limited by an order log n value is commonly known as height balancing. Okay, and any tree that has this property, so a tree with height order log n is called a height balanced tree. Okay, so that means there are quite a few height balanced trees where you can make sure that the height of the tree is order log n at any point of time. Okay, so actually there are quite a few things. For example, red black tree. Red black tree is one particular family. Then there are AVL trees. Okay, so in this course we will only talk about AVL trees, but you can always go back and read red black trees. Ideas are very similar. I mean, in underlying idea, how do you maintain the height balancing, that is very similar, but the details vary. So we will start talking about now AVL trees. What are AVL trees and how do you maintain this height balancing property?